give it a go.
No. I mean,
No, man. See, I kind of just revert to those.
Yeah. You're good, man. You're good. I can kick it off.
Yeah.
I finished and really, really enjoyed Tormented Souls. I thought it was awesome.
Thanks for waiting for me.
No.
Yeah, I'm upset.
Are you really?
No, but I feel like it's a good game to play with you. We started at the cabin, dog.
Here's what I'll be totally real about it. It is jank. It is not.
Yeah, but that's what makes it fun. Right?
No.
No?
I mean, this
That's
is
what makes
it's a
Kadelka fun for me. It's jank as hell.
Kadelka's not very janky to me.
I don't understand.
It's just chunky.
I
That's
still
not
don't
janky
understand.
though. I'm saying the controls and like the camera's really awful for a lot of Tormented Souls. Like I'm not gonna like say it's an amazing game, you know.
Wait, it's a multiple series? Like there's more than
It's
one?
only one, and there won't be another one. The whole way of, like, do you remember how you lost your eye in it?
Yeah.
The way that that's explained is really cool.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like, and I'm not going to spoil anything now because I think now that I know how to play it, we can play it together.
Okay.
And we won't get stuck in insane puzzles because
But that's true. You could let me play more, and then you can just tell me, hey, do this for the puzzle.
There are some absolutely asinine puzzles that require such out-of-the-box solutions.
Can I be honest?
What?
All these games have that.
Dude,
I know you
no
don't
way.
think, because you guys are really smart, I think,
No way.
but there's so many times where I'm just like, even like Resident Evil 4, when I was a kid playing it on like, GameCube or whatever, I'm just like,
Resident Evil 4?
Yeah.
Has like no puzzles. That's not
no, there's literally like 4 or 5. And I'm not even saying that they're hard. I'm just saying, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, do you want me to go look around and do something?
These put Kuon to shame. Like, these are like, there's one.
Dude,
like,
Kuon's
I literally
rough,
I found a
bro.
coin and I was like, okay, what's this coin for? There's one vending machine. If you put it in, the vending machine actually lights up for you to do like Simon Says. So you keep doing it as a sequence back and forth of like pressing the same buttons it does when it lights up. And then when you win, it gives you a blood pack out of the vending machine.
For what?
The blood pack is actually, you combine that with the metal mold and you put that in the freezer. And then you get a freaking mold of a frozen gear that you use to open a secret door.
So you don't even need to do that.
No, you have to do it.
Oh, okay.
You can't get the gear. The gear's gone. So
That's
you have to
fucking insane.
So you get a mold, you take the mold, you get the blood first way earlier too. Like none of this happens near each other in terms of the story either. It's like it's all very like spread apart. Remember when you start in the bathroom,
Yeah.
you go to that cabinet, you have to put the lock combination in.
Yeah.
That lock is actually used for a puzzle almost at the end of the game.
What?
Yeah. This
The
game
same number?
No, you don't. It's not for locking something up.
Oh.
It's for putting two things together.
Oh.
It's so convoluted, man.
Weird.
So like I think.
Did you look up stuff? Like
I had to. I had to look up stuff like.
Because you're like, what the fuck do I do?
I gave up like about halfway through the game and said we're just doing a walkthrough for the rest of this thing because it's just too convoluted. But like the way that things. There are also puzzles in this game that just feel really, really good. Like especially with navigation. Like there's some really good navigation puzzles, but also like there is a other world in this one that is like it's very segmented and very rare, and it's not like Silent Hills, but it is like a rundown area, like a mirror version of it that you go through a mirror to get to. You remember that we went through a mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that like a few more times, not a whole time, but the way that interacts with the main world is really cool.
Cool.
So
how are the enemies as it progressed? Did they get better, or are they kind of all the same? Are they all the same creature? Creatures? I don't
there's
really
5 or 6 different enemies total and one boss.
Only one boss? Weird. That's a weird thing.
Just the final boss. There's arguably other bosses, and like what I thought was a boss at one point ended up being just a normal enemy you find about 30 more times.
Tight.
So it's actually it's an enemy introduction, and then it's like one of the standard enemies. So I thought it was a boss, but there's nothing. No, there's only the guys that are like half a body on the ground. There's the wheelchairs. There's the guys that have the that are hanging by like the skeleton dolls that stand up and like are held up by a metal bar.
Yeah,
it's basically like half a guy's body on that.
Okay,
and you find like dudes that are just big, like giant, big, tall dudes. They're skinny and like really malicious. And the last guys you can fight are just like people in masks with giant hammers.
Tight, dude.
So the enemy variety.
So they were like, they did everything about the game, and then they were like, "Fuck,
yeah." So
guys, you forgot to put enemies in, and they're like,
yes, especially because they thematically don't feel very good in this world, but
weird.
Then again, there's
I wonder if that was the case. If someone had this amazing game and then they're like, well, we need enemies for it to be like engaging, like people to run away and stuff. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out if it's the animations that makes them feel not fit or if it's the actual enemies themselves. Okay. I think it's the animations more because this whole game is an animation nightmare. But the parts that like left a really good impression on me, despite there being like, yes, this is definitely an indie budget title. It's definitely ripping on Resident Evil super hard, fixed camera angles, combat, and all, right? Auto aiming too, right? All the puzzles, like it's super whatever. But the story, super original, super cool, liked it a lot. And the actual mansion facility you're in is fantastic.
Cool.
Like the actual level that you're working your way through and solving is like dressed up. It's super detailed, honestly, for an indie developer. But like it also looks like actually lived in and feels like an actual location, not like a video game that you're just wandering around in. Kind of like how Spencer Mansion, before you went down, and this is the same for Spencer Mansion, but like Spencer Mansion, which is the Resident Evil 1 mansion in the Arcade Mountains in the first game on PS1 or GameCube. A lot of it feels very authentic and like this is a real hallway. This is like a real, these things feel good. And until you go to the underground lab, you're probably thinking a lot of that, and it's kind of the same with Tormented Souls. Once you go to the underground area, which is actually just sewers, you're like, oh, okay, this is a little more foreign, but it still actually really works out, like in terms of like being believable. So
that's sick.
Awesome game. Has its caveats.
There you go. Tormented Souls.
$20 brand new for a physical copy on Amazon. Give it a shot. So
get your physical copies,
especially if you like
on Amazon.
Especially if you love original Resident Evil and survival horror. That's where it is. Like that's what it is.
You could probably just buy it also from the person who sells it, whatever the company is.
I think it's P-Cube.
There you go, P-Cube,
which is not a Western developer like in the States area. It's I think it's more European. But we can talk about games while we stream later. Let's talk about anime.
Yeah,
because
let's just let you talk about games for fucking 20 minutes.
Oh, did you want to talk about
me about it?
Did you want to talk about games? You have games?
Yeah, dude, I've been playing this new game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Let's talk about anime. So
it's called Elden Ring.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just kidding. I was going to say a joke about it as Elden Ring.
Oh, really? Okay. So
I'm not even playing Elden Ring.
Do you have any games you want to talk about? Or is there anything that you want to catch people up on?
Do you want to talk super quick about our Resident Evil? Just our first taste on Resident Evil.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So I love the look of it. If I think this is one of our favorite game. It's for sure one of your favorite games
of all time.
Yeah,
it's on that list, like top 5, top 10 in that range.
It's for sure up there for me. I haven't played it since I played GameCube, but when I had GameCube, that was almost the only game I played. It was that and Twin Snakes, as I played that like kind of on repeat, and
classic.
I love those games. I think they're phenomenal. So this feels like almost a new game. Like it's taking this whole story, kind of taking the best parts of it, keeping them there. Like the world still feels familiar, but then it also feels like a completely new game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just like when you're like walking places, I'm like, where the fuck is this? What's going on? And just like the graphics, like, everything is so. It reminds me of Outlast. I know it's like a different comparison, but just like the way that the environments interact with you, it feels a lot more. I'm like, dude, anything can come around the corner, and it's nice because you do have a gun, where in Outlast you don't. But I like that feel. And then when you kind of get into the open and there's people coming at you, I'm like, oh, here you go. This is the Resident Evil 4 that like we know and love. So they kept the good shit, and then they added just a more intriguing, I think, kind of way to showcase their story.
Yeah, it feels like you're playing Resident Evil 4, but when you're playing it, you're like, this is not Resident Evil 4. Like, I don't know how to explain that any better, but the environments definitely call back to original RE4, and yet still feel like you're not playing RE4.
Yeah,
like they're more detailed, but that's not like why they feel that way. It's because like the action scenarios surrounding each of these locations has been like tweaked a little bit, maybe, or it's like a little like and we can go into the way that you're scavenging for materials and the way that you're interacting with combat is a little different anyway compared to original RE4. But the scenarios themselves play out differently, and it's like a breath of fresh air, especially with the graphical upgrade compared to like the GameCube, right? Like this is
so nice,
gorgeous. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. I did buy Resident Evil 4 for PC, just like the port, and I ended up returning it because I was like, honestly, man, like it just doesn't look good. And whenever something doesn't look good on my PC, I usually return it because it'll like play in like a different box or it'll like stretch. That kind of does these things where I'm like, a lot of older games will do that sometimes. Maybe that's just my PC and it's because it's an old piece of shit. But
well, I mean, there's a lot of good mod support if you want it to be prettier, but I understand they are 2004 textures.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like on Switch it's fine. It's like you know what I mean? Because Switch is an Android. It's just a high upgraded Android, like you know that we know and love, and it works and it's good. But like I don't expect like amazing graphics from my my Switch where I would more for my PC. So that's usually just where the caveat is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's not always the case. If a game is indie, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
I'm just saying an older game.
Yeah. I think this is a very fun port. I cannot wait to finish this podcast and go play more of it.
Yeah. So, hey, you listen to
us.
us. Guess what? You listen to us on Tuesday, and tonight we are going to stream at 8:30 or 8. If we keep only 3 anime, we'll probably start at 8. If we keep 4 anime, they'll probably start at 8:30. It really depends. Because we usually start at around 6:30 doing podcasting. So.
You know what you could do though is all you gotta do is just follow us on Instagram or on I think it's Instagram and then just
and Twitch
and
you can just follow us on Twitch. Set some reminders.
It'll notify you. Yeah.
We have a notification for every Tuesday at 8 or whatever. So
so just keep on track of that, or subscribe to that if you haven't.
Yeah.
And that'll get you there.
That'd be great.
We should talk about anime.
We shouldn't.
Because
let's just go stream.
We should we should get through this and go stream. So
no.
So this is
it, man.
Yeah.
This is our last winter episode.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? It also feels like this flew. Did it not feel like
fast?
winter just went by super fast?
It did.
Because we just have like the most banger anime, and that was
Blue Lock.
No. Wait, I'm talking about. I mean, it was Blue Lock. It was Blue Lock,
My Hero,
Bleach.
you're talking about Fall?
Yeah, Fall. Fall was just there, and it was such a good.
Yeah, Fall.
It was so good. I can't remember the other 2 amazing animes. What was
Licorice?
Licorice. No.
That was summer, huh? Was that summer?
What the fuck, dude? We were like, this is the craziest thing because so many good ones. There was Bleach.
I mean, give me 4 seconons to find out. I'll let you know.
Fuck?
It's Oh yeah, there you go.
Dude, our brain cells are gone.
This is fun, dude. This is great.
Okay, hold on. Bleach. I got this. Bleach, Blue Lock.
One of our most hated animes of last year, but it was a ripoff of Bite Daddies.
Oh, Spy Family. That's right. And then I don't know what that is.
Chainsaw Man.
Oh, and Chainsaw Man. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why we were like, these are the 3 best. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it just feels weird that they were here. They
Yeah.
were over. Wow, guys, I'm so sorry for not even knowing.
I mean, I blame
just
too.
did it fucking for
we
3 months.
We consume a shit ton of anime, so
that is true. We do. We do.
Well, let's talk about Tomo-chan because
let's talk about it.
Sorry, real quick as a preface, this is going to be the season finales of the last 2 shows of winter, and then we are doing one show that started for spring, and that's Hell's Paradise. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the first 2 or the finales of Bite Daddies and Tomo-chan.
Mm-hmm.
We'll kind of talk about them as best as we can, and then we'll rank we'll say what our favorite of winter was, and then we'll move on to Hell's Paradise, and that's how we'll close the show out.
Yep.
So top of the order, Tomo-chan, and I will read.
I'll read Tomo.
You read Tomo and everybody? Okay.
Yeah.
I will read alongside you to make sure I didn't mess up too bad, because I know I messed up probably. It should be the top one though. Yep. Cool. Jesus Christ. You better cut that action on that, dude.
Tomo-chan, to stay by your side.
I should say there was 3 dots after that title. ... Yeah.
Well, here we are, our season finale, and it looks like we're right. It does wrap up very neatly. June and Tomo are now dating. Psych! Tomo's dad said no. If June and beat Tomo's dad,
if June beats Tomo's, my bad.
If June can beat Tomo's dad in a 1v1 karate match, then he can date Tomo. Tomo is encouraged by her friends to support June in fighting. So her and her mom watch the fight. June lands a punch on her dad's face despite the struggle. Tomo's dad concedes. So then June asks Tomo out, and then Tomo kisses him.
What did I miss? Did I miss anything there?
Nope.
Okay, so my biggest issue with this episode.
Well, yeah, let's do the biggest issues first because I liked this a lot.
Is the Gundo relationship arc never really got closed out, which means Gundo was never meant to be in a relationship, and that guy that wanted to date her was kind of a red herring, which means that Gundo's main storyline was just being a better friend to Tomo.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
I honestly...
I know that was a bit of a mouth throw up, but...
No, I genuinely thought that it was going to end with him asking her on a date.
Yeah.
And then Shim going... Sure.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, that's all I would have needed for that.
Yeah.
Be like, they don't need to start dating. They don't need to do anything. It's more so he's been trying to, win her heart or whatever his thing is for her. And then, just kind of for her to throw him like a bone and be like, we can see because like these people have something special. Maybe I should give it a shot. That's kind of what because I feel like she's someone who's like, I don't really want to date. I don't.
Gundo was someone I thought they were going to spend a lot more time in this episode, and I think she had all of 3 lines. Her and Carol both. They weren't really big parts of this episode, and that's fine. Like the show's not about Tomo and June. However, it's only not fine when you plant the seeds of these things and then don't follow through on them. And this is where I feel like Carol, Gundo, Izawa, and whatever the name of the dude that likes Gundo, all of them are basically. Everything that was going on with them is just not even, it's basically irrelevant at this point. None of them are really important in this episode because it's all June and Tomo. And again, it's fine. It is a little jarring when you spent so much time with these characters.
Don't you think they like closed them out like beforehand though? Like I feel like even
I think closing them out means that Carol was closed out when she was crying that one episode, and that was kind of the closeout there. Or she was closed out. No, that was the closeout there for her, because otherwise that's the last real thing that's happened with Carol. And Gundo's closed out when Gundo apologized to Tomo.
True, but I also feel like, and then I feel like the guy, like Carol's boyfriend or whatever, he gets closed out last episode when he confides in June, being like, he's like happy for June, and then he's like, hey, I kind of got here by other people, and I found out that I love Tomo-chan, blah, 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 blah. Not Tomo-chan, Carol.
Yeah.
And so, to me, I'm like, cool, because again, dude, they're in high school. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So, like, to me, I'm like, okay, cool, they're dating now. That their story's over. That's kind of, to me, like, that's it.
I mean,
I don't have, I genuinely, I know, you can be mad at it. I don't give a fuck about those guys.
Not mad. The Tomo-June stuff is great. That all plays out great. That fight's great. The dad's fantastic. The mom's great.
Yeah,
that's all good stuff. No complaints about that.
No,
I just thought there would be more details and support to the supporting cast.
Why? They already closed them out.
It didn't feel like they did to me. I don't
what would you have needed from that?
I don't know. It's some kind of heartfelt, something with Carol in the last few episodes that felt like story relevant.
Well, this is what I felt like. I felt like they did get a lot because even with what again, they make it goofy, and so maybe that's what you feel like isn't closing it out. But even Carol says to Gundo, like, hey, like, you don't have to be like lovers or what, like, and wanting to be in a relationship. Like, you can be friends and like love each other and stuff like that. And I just feel like what they're doing is they're rounding out like, hey, like this friend group is growing and changing. And that's honestly kind of just where we end, because it's high school, it's changing. And so the whole focus obviously is Tomo and June. And then we get, from beginning to end, we get a conclusion with them. And then the friends that are kind of just in their lives, I feel like they gave us a lot of them. Oh, and then they rounded them off.
I think they gave us a lot of them.
Gundo just feels the weirdest.
I think they gave us a lot of them without proper tying it up. That's all. That's the only difference, I think, between what we're saying. Yeah. Is that I don't think it was tied off as neatly as I think it should have been.
Okay.
And I think you probably are okay with
I'm just
how
okay
it was.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted more for Gundo. I just wanted... I felt the red herring was weird.
I thought more for Gundo, too. But
Carol, I didn't care.
Gundo had jack shit in this episode.
Right.
And that's where I was like, okay, well, I get it. Like, she's kind of the reason this is all happening, right? Gundo's been kind of orchestrating and figuring this out with him the entire time, and it really felt like she just got sidelined.
Yeah. Well, I think that's my thing is I truly do think it was like Gundo's time to shine last episode. And then this episode is just fully focused on that. I
think if that's the point, then
what? Just don't have her at all?
I don't know what the point of the character that likes her is.
That is no.
Like that's the
you
red
and
herring.
I are 100%. It's just a red herring.
That character's screen time.
You know what?
I don't know.
I have been considering reading it because I actually really liked it.
It's actually really fast too.
And so I was like, I'm just curious, like what would be in there maybe differently.
I don't know. It's only 8 volumes total.
Yeah.
So
I know. I looked for seeing if I could buy it.
Did
but
you?
I was just like, yeah.
Okay.
Like
I
they don't have a good box set, so I was like, never mind.
I want to start collecting the Mashal ones. I am very excited for Mashal to be animated,
dude.
And
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I need the animation to be better than Hell's Paradise,
bro. We'll get there.
We'll get there. That was we'll get there.
Whatever.
This
motherfucker can't
it's
accept
Mappa.
art.
I have really high expectations of Mappa. Okay.
Yeah.
Really, really high expectations, and when Mappa doesn't deliver, it's noticeable.
You know how much shit they're working on right now?
A lot.
Yeah.
Because they're going to put out Demon Slayer.
Fucking
also,
break.
That's Ufotable. That's someone else. But what else did Mappa just do?
Yeah. Attack on Titan. Fucking Bleach.
And what did they do last season?
Last year. Chainsaw Man.
Like all these stunning, beautiful animes.
They're going to pick up Blue Lock probably.
If they pick up Blue Lock, that'd be like a dream.
No, for sure, Blue Lock, and no matter what, they're getting a bigger budget next year.
Well, Mappa wasn't Blue Lock, was
I know.
it?
It wasn't. I'm just saying that. I'm saying they're going to get picked up probably by someone who's bigger because they realized the gold mine they have on their hands.
I think that studio's got that. I think whatever studio has Blue Lock,
they just get more money.
Will never give it up.
Oh, then what they're going to do is they got all the money.
They're going to get bigger budget.
Yeah.
But like if Mappa had it, that'd be.
Just get rid of that weird 3D bullshit.
What was beautiful in this episode was June's punch to the dad's face. That was animated stunningly.
It was great.
Yep.
I think so. The whole time, I thought them getting in the. I just love the tension that they built, like kind of like they're dating, but they're not dating, and then they're like literally in the room together, and it's like, wow, don't you want to? Or when they go to the movie and it's like, this is how you can see someone kiss or whatever, and this is what you do, but then it's like a lovemaking scene.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh my God, what do I do? And I don't know. I loved it. I felt like this whole entire ending was great. And then at the very end, I think the craziest thing that like gave me, I'm probably going to rate this a lot higher than I maybe even should, but
I don't really think it's deserving of anything lower than
like a 9 or something.
Well, I think the lowest you can go is 8.
But like,
this is not. It's not the level of quality that would denote a 7 or a 6.
Yeah,
it's just way too. Yeah, sorry, go on.
But so when June confesses, like, hey, like I beat him, like, will you go out with me, type of thing, because she's about saying, he cuts her off. He's like, hey, will you go out with me? And then she's like, what the fuck, And then she's like, well, and then she just is like, well, fine, then I'm gonna do this, and then she kisses
sexually
him.
assaults him.
Well,
just
no,
kidding.
they're dating. And so like. She sexually assaults him. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was like a really beautiful moment. And then they're like, and then their goal is like, I'm going to, now it's almost a competition of like, how can I make your heart set ablaze even more? And I'm like, this is such a cool way to view a relationship in a way, and it doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't mean like if you're not doing that, they're doing it wrong. I'm just saying it was a very fun way to have these, best friends and rivals, and then now they're like boyfriend, girlfriend. It's like, how can we put all that into one? And I think that they did a very good job. Now, what would it look like forever? I don't know. Because I do feel like sometimes when you're competitive and you're yelling at each other, sometimes that's not great. Yeah. But who cares about that? Right now, what we got is great, And I love the way that it ended, and I'm just like, June's, I love how June's mom, dude, when Tomo was like, I hate you, Dad, and laughed, and I was just like, damn. I'm like, I did not think that it was going to go here. I'm like, what is happening?
That was so funny.
And then she's like in her room for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, where is this show going? Like, are they not going to date? Like, what's going on? I mean, I knew they were going to. But.
Yeah, it worked out in the end.
Yeah. But I liked it a lot.
Do you want to do comments real quick, or do you want to just close this out with a big rating for an... Yeah, actually, let's do this. Let's talk about this. How about we don't do comments for Buddy Daddies and... Tomo.
Yeah, I mean, literally, what they was it was people going, "Goodbye, everyone. I don't know what I'm gonna do." That's what.
Buddy Daddies are awful comments. Like the top, but instead, let's do an overall series rating.
Okay.
For the whole season.
Okay.
Can you do that? Okay. Because I can do that for Tomo-chan. I can do that for everything when we get to the other ones too.
Yeah.
But
we can do that.
Unless you're like powerful about or like you're committed to comments and you want to do it.
No, fuck it. Fuck comments.
I think this episode was very strong. Like I obviously have, and I also need to fully confess, like I understand how hypercritical I can be about small details. That's me. I recognize it. I put things through a very detailed lens when I critique them, and it's like kind of nitpicky and annoying sometimes, and I realize that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fuck you. Just
when
kidding. It's great.
when I think something seriously detracts, I'm going to say it, right?
Yeah.
So
and you should.
Yeah. So
This makes us fun because you're wrong a lot. It's awesome.
I'm into being wrong. It's fine. I think we were both right about this. We were both right about this ending like a kiss, though. You know. Yeah. So.
Hey, you were right.
Yeah, I was like, "There's no way that lasts." Yeah. Well. Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But.
I mean, I knew. That's why I didn't want to bet you again. I knew that it was going to have to because there was one episode. I'm like, yeah, for sure they're going to have to kiss on this. And I love how it ends. I think it's such a good.
So, I would give this episode a 9 out of 10.
4. No.
You're going to give it a 10, aren't you?
I'm gonna give it 9.5.
9.5. Okay.
Yeah.
So not too high then. Okay.
Not too high.
Could you rate the entire series right now?
Yeah.
What would you give it?
I would probably give it a 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason I would give it an 8.5 is because I think that it's a different love story than I've seen put out there. So I like and I could be totally wrong, but this is the first tomboy goes after a guy type of thing that I've seen where the whole premise is I want my love interest to see me as a woman. And then like at the end of it, it's hey, you shouldn't even try to be more girly. Like you should be you. No one wants you to change. Like you are an amazing person and everyone loves you for you.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that it's an extremely positive message. It is like a very well done, quick love story. I mean, the only reasons I think that it subtracts and doesn't get like a 9 maybe or 9.5 is literally because I do think that they have some kind of boring episodes, and again, I do, to your credit, think that they should have rounded some things out more than they should have. But I think the fact that they could make Carol an annoying, like, dumbass that we don't like this person to someone who was like an amazing character at the end.
Good support character.
Very good job of the writer. And then even though I know Gundo's whole thing was maybe a little bit more like, whatever the person's name was in Fruits Basket, I felt like she kind of came into her own too, because I think the over time when I'm like, okay, I get to know this person where I don't really know
the girl in Fruits Basket?
Yeah.
The Dark Waves girl?
What's our girl's name in Fruits Basket?
I don't remember her name. I don't remember most of the characters' names in that show, except for like
fuck? I should know that.
Hattori and Toru and Ayame. See, I don't remember that, which is which is Yuki's brother, the snake dude. I don't remember that guy's name.
Yuki.
Yeah. So, I would toss it at an 8.
Okay.
The big thing for me is this show starts off with the wrong foot. I don't think it makes a great first impression. I think it takes probably a good 4 to 5 episodes to really kind of like fully draw you in. That's how it felt for me, at least. A better way of saying that probably is to say how you said it, though, is it because this show is segmented out in like the too many episodes per episode. They shoot themselves a lot in the foot with some really irrelevant ones.
Yeah.
Like ones that just don't matter or do anything, or maybe they're just trying to fluff it up. I don't know, but there are certain bits of this show that you just should skip or just shouldn't need to watch, really, because they're not going to contribute to anything greater. But otherwise, I really did appreciate the romance. Like,
it's nice that it's a one-off.
I didn't realize it was romance. I wasn't fully convinced it was a romance until like the 4th or 5th episode,
Yeah.
4th or 5th episode, when they really felt like they were pushing towards that, rather than just trying to make Tomo seem more like a girl, or masquerade as a girl with no consequence. I don't know. Like, I don't really understand the first bits of the show sometimes because it's just so boring.
I liked them.
I just think it just falls really flat. But regardless of that, it does nail the landing, stick the landing, nail and stick the landing, and it does really provide a very satisfying relational pull off a very satisfying relationship.
Yeah.
So,
and it's short and sweet.
Yeah, short and sweet.
At the end of the day, it's 13 episodes that you can just go watch and then be done with it in like at least 2 or 3 days, and it's like a good story.
I could confidently recommend it with
same.
I'd say it's a good anime. So
yeah,
let's move on to Buddy Daddies, though. Buddy Daddies. Sorry, I said that really fast.
I hate Buddy Daddies. Go.
Okay, Buddy Daddies. And this episode's called Daughter Daddies, which I was not a fan of. Rei and Kazuki drop Miri off at daycare. She's to be there all day because she's going to sing in the Christmas play that night. Rei and Kazuki raid the... Okay, sorry, I better put this in. Q, his only thing in this chapter is he arms our boys. That's what he does. He drives out to our...
He gives them big
Rei
old
and
buff
Kazuki
arms.
gives them guns. All right. Rei and Kazuki raid the old Suwa home. Big kerfuffle ensues, and our boys end up fighting against Obino. He dies in the end in what continues to be extremely sloppy fight choreography. Rei is then able to convince his dad to let him leave the org. Our boys make it in time to see Miri sing at the Christmas play. The best part of this episode is our post-credit bit, though. Miri is all grown up, and our dads opened a restaurant together. Our family is doing just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to do the opposite of what we did last time. Let's talk about the good things, because I'll be real.
The post-credit bit.
Yeah. So
I
was shocked and loved that they did a time skip, because what that does is it's like, hey, guys, they didn't get killed by assassins. They didn't change. They weren't getting chased. They succeeded. They changed. They were literally like Miri's dad all the way up till now. It's awesome.
Yeah,
they did so cool. And then the pictures.
It's a seaside restaurant.
Perfect.
It's like Ray's cooking too.
It's literally like, honestly, you know what this ending is? It's a Licorice Recoil ending.
It's basically that.
And I was like, wow.
Although stylistically, these boys look exactly like the protagonists from Road to El Dorado.
They kind of
They definitely do. That is them. Like Melanie and I both were like, hey, hold on. This is a different movie.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so I guess cool. It's good. Like Ray is really good at French toast now. Like that's what he made Miri for breakfast, was like a gourmet French toast dish.
Yeah.
Kazuki has a really, really pedophilistic goatee, but we're gonna let him have it. So
that's not fair to people who have.
He looks so gross with his goatee.
He does look gross. He does look gross.
It's
no
so
doubt.
terrible.
No doubt.
But it's also a really good. It is a good finale. The photo show, the slideshow at the end with all the photos is really cute.
I was kind of thinking that maybe one of them would hook up with the.
Yeah, I thought so. With the sister of his ex.
No.
Anna?
Their teacher.
Anna.
Anna.
Oh, no, not Anna.
Hey, can I be real? Without sounding super wild, I think Anna is the most attractive person I've ever seen drawn.
That is super wild, but hey, it's okay also.
Isn't that crazy? Because she's normal.
She's normal, yeah.
And like, I don't know.
I mean, that's a thing that we're
all the best places, baby.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, it's all you. She is definitely like the heroine of the show. Like she's the only one who's really a good person here.
That's a good point.
Let's be really clear.
She just loves the kids so much, and she's just like giving her all.
Yep, she's the good person here. There's no one else in the show that's a good person. So except for Kazuki's ex's sister, she's also a good person.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So that's the good bit. That's the good bit. I think the bad bit is basically
all of it.
Like I'll be very clear. The sloppiness in this episode continues form from ever since that filler bit, since the recap episode. Like I rewatched the fights in older episodes, especially with the one where Ray fights his old mentor. That's a good fight. It's choreographed well. Yeah. They're doing gung fu. Is that what it's called?
Gung fu.
Like from Equilibrium. Like they're fighting.
Gung fu.
Yeah, like Equilibrium though. Remember that with Christian Bale? And like that was the one where if you read a book, you died. I think like information was very controlled.
You read a book, you died. I don't. Yeah. I may have never.
I remember that scene though when he goes like Christian Bale goes to the cathedral and the guy's his old mentor's reading a book and he shoots him through the book and that's why he had to die because it was like he broke a rule or something. So
I mean that sounds awesome.
You take the pills and the pills put you in form. If you don't take the pills, then you end up like thinking on your own. So
weird.
Whatever. We can watch it again. I want to watch that movie again. It had really cool choreography. So yeah. So like it starts off awkward. Like they just leave Miri at daycare all day, which seems really dumb considering everyone knows where she goes to daycare, and they just left her there with Anna and other kids.
Yeah.
So first thing was like, hold on, that seems really dumb that you would do that, especially because you just had a confrontation with like what I'm to assume is the lead assassin there, right?
That's what they show us.
First dumb thing. Second dumb thing, Q's involvement is literally only to supply them, who seemed like an actual buddy last episode, feels like he's not really relevant this episode
Yeah,
at
now
all.
he's kind of like, all right, guys.
His story ended last episode, basically.
Yeah.
That's also dumb. When they go to confront the actual Suwa residents,
yeah,
or like the organization, that is the stupidest thing that I've seen like the way that it was done for like professional assassins to go about it this way seemed so stupid and like didn't mesh with what the show had been showing previously.
No.
Like nothing about this made sense. Like they're assassins, deal with it like an assassin. Don't be like a civilian and just charge in and just fire wildly, you know?
Dude, I fucking hate this episode.
I can keep going on. Next thing,
I'm with you.
Next thing, basically,
wait, no, I want to bitch too.
You want to do it? You want to go? Go ahead.
Bitch.
I will go. You can go ahead.
So the fact that I'm 100% with you on everything you're saying, but I'm extremely with you on Miri and like why the fuck isn't she like protected somewhere or in like a safe, like why not stay in the Q safe house while they go and do this? And then the fact that they just like drive up and they're like, oh, he's with me.
Here's all my guns, by the way.
I'm like,
what?
I'm like, okay, so you're not just gonna, literally the entire layout of this place.
You're the
best person to go and assassinate anyone here because you grew up here. So how are we not doing that?
You know what's even worse is they still shot 2 of these guys. So there was no like point. They weren't like trying to preserve life here. Yeah. They still shot 2 of the dudes.
Yeah. That is true.
Like, what was the point?
I don't know.
The absolute crowning moment, though, is and this is a dumb moment to crown as like the worst one in the show episode, but it supports why I think this episode is just so terribly sloppy. They throw a lighter at a propane tank and it blows up. It's not even open. It's just at the propane tank. They toss it into the kitchen after Obino's dead and it blows up.
I thought he opened it. I thought they opened it.
Did they open it?
Yeah, I think
if I missed it, then I missed it. But I don't remember him opening it at all.
I think that there was like a bullet that hit it and then it was like going.
Okay, a bullet hit it.
But then it would explode, right?
Well, it would cause a spark if it hit it and it would explode. Unless it didn't penetrate. But if it creates a leak, it penetrated.
Yeah.
So a spark would ignite.
I have no idea.
I'll back off that point for now and I'll
but I'm with
back
you.
on it.
I'm with you.
I just thought it was...
I can't remember, though.
That fight.
Yeah.
That fight and the amount of times that Obino has a gun to their head and doesn't shoot is... It is... Again, it's not new for him as a character. He's an idiot, and somehow he's one of the most prominent assassins in this organization, and I don't understand why, but he's had the gun at these people's heads multiple times in multiple scenarios and has not pulled the trigger.
The only thing, and I'm with you, I think it's the most biggest bullshit of all time. And
that was such a hilarious way to say it. The most biggest bullshit of all time.
The most biggest bullshit of all time.
That's what this is.
It really is. This episode is trash. And yeah, man, the fact that he doesn't pull, like their whole thing is, oh, he wants to get their last words. But I'm like, that's not enough. Like, you're kind of setting this dude up as a serial killer, kind of. But guess what? At the end of the day, he's an assassin and he's working for this dude. And so he's like, he would have for sure pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
All these dudes are dying around you, and you go, well, I'm just going to follow him around the house and go pew, 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 pew. I mean, honestly, I was like, oh, like when...
Because he was like fake shooting him, so I try and get him to move still at one point. I was like, dude, you're wasting the bullets. Shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No sense.
What do you want the last words
for? It also
for?
felt like these dudes suck at us being assassins.
Yeah.
That's really what
Everyone's
it showcased
so
to me.
Bad. What's the... And then I'm like...
they're all thugs. That's what you are. You're paid thugs.
I'm like, yeah, Ray, that's your dad. You haven't called him.
And then he shoots himself. So, okay, this is the other thing. When he shoots himself in the arm and he's like, I'm useless to you now. Is there something in your arm that you shoot where you can't use it anymore, like as well? I guess it's kind of, maybe did he like kind of like tear his tendon?
Yeah,
to
did you make it so it was like less, like did you damage some nerves? Like I get that. At the same time, you have a left hand and you're an assassin.
Yeah, it's
and
like
you were trained.
And you didn't do both arms. You just did one. So yeah, you're like
you were trained from the moment you were born to be an assassin. I don't think that you make yourself unusable just because you have like less use in one arm. Like that makes no sense to me. Also,
yeah,
this entire show fell apart in this episode. Like,
yeah, it did.
I'm not even joking. Like,
no, you're right.
This show went from like passable to like
no.
This is like I can't recommend this show.
I would not recommend it either.
Yeah. And so like this episode, I would give it a 4 out of 10, a 3 out of 10. Between one of those two, I haven't decided yet. I'm still trying to figure out if the ending bit redeems enough of it to be a 4. I'm thinking it's probably a 3. This is a bad episode. And I know
so bad.
I know people enjoyed this show, and I do not want to shit on anyone's enjoyment of this show.
Which one of our fans enjoyed this show?
No, I'm just looking at the comments.
Which one?
All the comments love this show. That's what I'm looking at. In the Crunchyroll. I don't know who that is. You want to say Digimon 333880? I don't
Yeah,
even
come
know
on.
if you
What the
commented on
fuck?
it.
No, no, I don't know.
No.
Again, I get it. I understand. It's the same thing with Spy Family.
Yeah. Like,
I think people just enjoy the whole like cute kid changing their lives.
the
And I'll be real.
frivolity of it all.
This show, to me, had the potential to be so much better than Spy Family. It's not. It's not better than Spy Family, which is insane to say because we were pissed.
A somewhat frustrating part of that, though, is also they don't maintain.
No,
they don't. Because they aren't assassins after the end.
No,
and I kind of wished.
I don't mind that. I felt like that's kind of where it was gonna go. Anyway, there's a part of me that's like, okay, they're assassins who are gonna get. It's kind of like the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, where he's like a tough guy, f you everyone, and then she changes them to the point of being like, okay, like I have more to care about than just being the toughest guy in the room or whatever.
Right, but he maintains it as a Yakuza member, just a bit more of a just one, right?
Right.
Like they.
Yeah, so maybe they could have like changed their things to like helping people instead of being assassins. Maybe they're like private investigators or something.
It's not a requirement for them to maintain them being assassins.
Actually, why didn't they just be private investigators?
The frustrating part, they should have. The frustrating part, well, because it's probably too dangerous for Miri. I wouldn't do it actually if I was them, because that's too dangerous for Miri for sure. They get way too involved in the crime world again. The frustrating part is that one of the coolest parts about this show was they were actually assassins doing assassin shit, and they were showing them kill guys.
Yeah, in the beginning, the first 2-3 episodes.
Yeah, while still taking care of a kid.
Yeah,
and like, okay, like we're being a little more mature here. We're gonna.
The themes felt more mature. Miri felt very annoying to people in the beginning because she was acting a lot more like an actual kid. Yeah. And then that, again, I think what it was the fans going, hey, man, what the fuck? It's not like Spy Family. Yeah. And then literally the studio was like, fuck. We need to make this more like Spy Family. No, I genuinely, with how bad this fucking show is, I think that for sure something changed. And something had to change.
Something changed. I just don't know if it was, people want more Spy Family and this is not doing it.
I don't know.
I could
got a lot of complaints about Miri in the beginning.
We could speculate as much as we want, but we just don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
And like, I would probably put it more on the corporate bureaucratic side of shit than.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Than like fans. I mean, like Crunchyroll's not really known for really
listening to fans,
or putting out good, like things for the fans. Like they really don't. They don't. They don't interact with us that much. All they really do is put out the orange-haired girl and Hatsune Miku all the time and say, "Look, we have."
What do you want from them? Like, they're just an entity.
They're not the company that I expect to like listen to their fans. That's just not what I think of Crunchyroll.
Okay.
There's no really way to talk to Crunchyroll or real way to talk to Crunchyroll outside of like sending an email, right? They don't really interact on Twitter too much or
I guess
Instagram,
that's true. I have no idea. I've never tried.
I have. I've actually commented on multiple other posts.
And you want them to respond to you?
There's just never any interaction on it.
Oh no, that's true. I have asked. Like, I'm like, hey, I can't remember when. I don't know if it was Bleach or something where I was like, hey, is this going to be on Crunchyroll? Like, and I asked multiple times on different posts that they did about it, and they never responded.
People don't. They don't.
And
care.
then it's just the fans are just like, no, it's not. Disney has it.
Right. It's not a website or company I expect to be like really paying attention to.
Okay, well then that's the wrong.
They're a
phrase.
vehicle. They're not really.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. That's
Something happened. I bet you it was just corporate or bureaucratic, not like.
I don't know. And I will say this. I'll just say this flat out. Yeah. I am sorry. I don't think any of the Crunchyroll studio people who made this show are going to listen or watch this. But if something weird or crazy happened that made you guys have to put that recap episode that was absolutely unneeded, and then the rest of the show just literally falls to shit afterwards. If something happened, like your maid guy left or something, and you guys are just scrambling, I'm sorry. I genuinely, sucks. But the show literally sucks ass. It does.
Like, I'm sorry it's a bad product, but that's what we're here for, is to critique your product.
And I mean, again, it's subjective.
We're not going to hold our punches just because you still put it out. Sorry. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry that the product sucks, but you put it out still. So we're gonna rate it bad.
Yeah. Like, I would give this episode a 4 because of the ending.
Yeah,
I think Miri being grown up was just such a good, like, again, that part made me go, wow, this show could have been literally one of the greatest. Like, this could have been not maybe on Licorice Recoil levels. I mean, it could have been if you had to put the work in. It could have been, but it had potential, and it's for sure. This episode's a 4.
I'll hang on a 4 too.
You on a 4?
Yeah.
Do you know what you would do for the whole thing?
6.
I would go 4.
Really?
This show made me so angry out of the last 3 because I was super hot on this. I loved this. I felt like this was such a good idea. I knew for a fact if they kept going the way they were on episode 1 and 2, if they kept going that route, which was assassins having to take care of a dad, and then somehow Miri gets involved, and it's a little goofy, but it's also kind of crazy dark because people are getting shot, and it's just like you had this weird dark comedy blend with a kid being kind of present, and they're like, if you would have made the whole show them trying to masquerade their dark world from her, and then that's kind of the whole show, and maybe you slowly have her changing them to where they're like, you know what, we don't even want to do this anymore. We don't want to have to protect her from this. Let's get the fuck out. That would have been one of the greatest shows of all time, but you didn't do that.
Yeah, the whole mom thing was weird too. Like,
we don't need it. You know what we needed was her being a bitch, and then we were like, yeah, fuck this mom, and then that was it. That was perfect. Having that like few second thing, we were like, yeah, fuck that mom. These guys for sure deserve like. They did a horrible thing. Well, they killed the dad.
Yeah. Well,
right?
no, the dad was a piece of shit.
He was a piece of shit too. He wasn't going to take care of her. So pretty much, it's kind of like this little girl has no one in her life who loves her and longs for her. They gave her that out of these 2 ragtag dudes. And if you would have had these 2 dudes continuing their shit, and then she gets in the way, and it's kind of goofy, right? When she had to go do the bathroom when they were fucking doing that one hit.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're saying the second episode.
I'm saying the second episode. I love that shit. He's like trying to sneak or kill someone. He sees her. She's like, Dad. They're like, what the fuck? Like, to me, I was like, dude, keep doing that. Because it was still dark enough. Like, you still killed people. You still had a lot of fun stuff. But then it was enough like dark light where it was fun. And then they went a way of like, I don't even know. Like, it was kind of just became dads, and that's it. It was dads, no assassin stuff, and if it was very light, and then we got into some really deep weeds. I think they
here's the deal. Here's the deal. Episode 1 through 8, I would give that like an 8 to 9 out of 10. Like 1 through 8 before the recap episode is a really solid anime. Like, it's really building up. These flashbacks are super cool looking. It's all setting up to be like a final little bit. Like what we got for that first bit was awesome.
I'd give it a 7 personally, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I really thought
I liked it. I
maybe 8
I
for me.
Felt like I was lied to.
No. So for sure, like that. But the first 2/3 of the show worked in concert pretty well.
Yeah, they worked together. They worked good.
The last 5 episodes were just total dog shit.
They were the worst.
And those are all like, I think we started those at like around like 7, 6s, and then went down to 4 and 3. So like it's declining value, but like I could still say like, hey, watch the first bit of the show. It does have some redeeming qualities, especially if you enjoyed Spy Family and Yakuza's Guide. Like, this is some good stuff. Now it loses its finale completely, so it's not a full recommend, but I can still say the first 8 episodes are worth experiencing, especially with the flashbacks with Rei and Kazuki with his, and the one decent thing with Hobino is actually linking him to that sniper shot that blew the car up, and then
I'm like, honestly, I want to rewrite this show. I honestly want to, as a creator, like write the way I would
just
do
from
it.
the last 5 episodes.
No, I would. I'm saying from episode 1. Like, I like the idea of episode 1 was good. Change it up a little bit, maybe. But like somehow they get this girl, and then again, I think again.
Yeah,
I want assassins doing assassin stuff, her getting in the way, because that's literally what the trailers and the first 2 episodes were, and then it went a totally different direction. Now the direction they went wasn't horrible until the last 5 episodes. It was just different. So I was like, okay, I'm along for a ride. I do like it. They did some great like feedback, the storylines with like their backstories. I loved like going into Rei's, and so they did good. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Could have been better. So
it really could have been better.
I don't recommend it. I'd say skip it. If you're very bored, have nothing to do, and this is like your favorite kind of anime is like the Spy Family genre, then check it out. You might actually really like it. But I'd say if you're looking for something that's like Spy Family but different, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Just either watch Spy Family. Honestly, just watch Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
Yeah, it's a better anime. It's one of the better animes of last year.
Saying?
I don't know. I think it bounces out to here's what I'll say to close it out. I'll put it at a 5.75. I won't give it the justice of a 6, or I won't give it the dignity of a 6. 5.75.
Okay.
Leave it at that.
All right.
Okay. Now, Blue Lock's rating and My Hero's rating.
Yeah. We'll just go with Blue Lock at the end. I guess.
Okay.
My Hero, I'd say My Hero is probably a 9.
It's a 9 for me too.
Yeah. Because the beginning was such a fucking banger.
It's an 8.75 for me.
Okay, I'm still saying 9. I didn't even like the ending.
I think the animation just shits the bed enough to not be a 9.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I felt like the beginning was awesome. It was so good, and it just made me, again, the fact that we're like really in the shit now was great for me. I'm like, civilians, I don't like when people get hurt, and like as in civilians and stuff, but it does raise the stakes of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you're showing like we have really bad guys and not just a dude with super soakers that's stealing cash from the cash register at 7-Eleven or whatever, it's like we have people who are absolutely decimating cities, killing people. Like, you're like, okay, yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
and then
the stakes are raised, right?
Yeah,
like you
right.
said.
So I love that. I did think it dipped. I love when he just goes on his own. I felt like that was great. I love the character development. Again, I think for me personally, it like kind of dipped a little bit. And for storytelling, it is a little bit weird that it's like, keep us after school so we graduate. I'm like, okay, who gives a fuck? But I get it. I know that's literally what it's called, My Hero Academia. So I get
That's also not why you brought him back, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. They brought him back so he gets rest, and so he has like his crew again.
He's the best weapon they have against the villain. It's far better to have him
there
than out dying.
Yeah.
So
100%.
It made sense to me. I think the justification of like he is my student still.
Yeah.
Like that was only justified to say I have the authority to bring him back.
That is fair.
So
that's true.
So like
I'll back off on that one because I think
mean,
you're right. I think you're right on that. It does make more sense.
It is what it is. You know, if you have a point with it, you can have a point against, or if you have a point against it, you can take that contention and it's all yours. I have no problem saying that's a thing that you can definitely say that and feel good about that. All I'm saying is like that point is legit and valid.
Okay,
you can have that. I'm not against you having that. To me, it worked. For you, it might not have worked. For me, it worked.
Yeah.
I don't think this show lulled at all. I thought this show was literally firing on all cylinders almost the entire time.
And you even just hate the animation so much that you dropped it.
The problem is
1.75 or 1.25.
The bullshit is that it's one long action sequence from the first episode of the season to like the 10th episode of the season, and there's a lot of moments where it's just still frames and repeat animations. And then when you see them put the actual effort in and animate it, like when Lemillion shows up, you're like, this is beautiful.
You're like, oh yeah.
But then it goes back to garbage, and you're like, damn it, dude! Like, why can't this consistently be beautiful? And
budget.
It's looking at like, well, it's because the movie budget takes away from the animation budget for the TV show. I know that now, but you look at the animations of season 1 and 2 and parts of 3, and you look at this, and you're like, well, there's nowhere even near the level of quality that those seasons had.
You think Jujutsu's gonna
dip? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. They literally said that they're gonna. They're like, you better wait to see what. You know what's funny? I forgot that in the manga that we go back in time because when they did the intro or the trailer, and I was like,
we don't go back in time, we flashback.
Well, yeah, flashback.
Okay. Well, one thing implies something.
Okay,
and
my bad.
That might be a giant
spoiler
spoiler for someone if they think we're going back in time, then we don't. You know. It's just a flashback. That's all it is.
It's a flashback. Sorry for saying go back in time because we live in a. I know, I get it. We live in a magical fucking world with people who do
curse
weird
spirits,
curse shit.
Curse techniques can be whatever they are. We don't go back in time.
Shut the fuck up. We go back in time. I forgot that they did that. I forgot that it was a flashback because I was like, wait, everyone's young. What the fuck? And I was like, oh yeah. Never mind.
Oh, did it show some key arts for that already? Or
what are you fucking talking about? The trailer, it showed everything.
No, I was like, I mean, sorry. They show like an episode. Like, was there like an episode that came out or something? I don't know.
Jujutsu? Or what are you saying? It's literally called a trailer, and what a trailer is that it shows people who are younger than we all know. We know every single character. We know the bad guy.
I didn't know the trailer came out. My bad. Okay.
Okay. And they're homies.
I didn't know there was a trailer. I didn't know there was any key art. I had no idea. I didn't know that came out. My bad, Joel. My apologies for not knowing that.
God damn it, dude. It's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you.
And honestly, you guys need to forgive him too.
No one's mad at me. I promise. I promise you. So, I didn't forget this at all. I have been ardently looking forward to this bit because it introduces some of my favorite characters in the entire show. So this flashback is what I am antsy for this flashback, dude. Like, it's gonna be 2-3 episodes probably. That's it. I am still antsy for it.
Dude, I think you just spoiled something for people.
Did I?
But no, I don't know.
There's new characters introduced?
No, you said 2 to 3 episodes and then that's it. I
It's a
feel like
flashback.
I know, but I feel like the trailer is trying to make it feel. Who gives a fuck? But I feel like the trailer's trying to make it like that's going to be the entire season is just that.
Oh,
it's
goodness.
not.
Yeah.
But the trailer is just that. It's nothing different.
Well,
it's
I think
just
so.
That.
I think the trailer's probably focused on the very first episode.
There was a piece of me that was like, "Is this going to be the entire season?" But then I'm like, for 24 episodes, there's no way it's impossible. It's impossible to do that.
I don't know if that's if you want to. You can edit that if you want.
I'll put a little marky mark, but I don't. I don't.
It could be 2-3 episodes. It could be 8 episodes.
You guys probably heard all of it,
but it's gonna have some. It's gonna have some really cool things happen.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's not. And you're not doing a real spoiler.
I was like, wait, what did I say?
No, it's just more so because you know how like they try to trick you with the trailers. That's all I was saying.
But yeah. What were we talking about?
My Hero. You didn't give it a. Oh, you did. You said 8.9. Oh, you're gonna give it a 9 like me now?
8.75. You're right. It was the animation. And
what else? Because you said it was perfect. I'm giving it a 9 because it had dips. It was still amazing, but it had enough dips.
Yeah, but I'm more critical of you.
You're
more critical than you.
0.25 more critical than me. But you said it was great. Yeah. So I'm saying is the animation 1.25?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Just thinking, man.
You're supposed to fucking have this shit on lock, dog. On God.
We're having a discussion about it right now.
I
will stick with 8.75 because it still doesn't hit as high as the other seasons in comparison. And some other seasons are like 9, 10 out of 10s, 9,
like
5
season
out of 10.
5 was so good.
Season 5 was like a 4 out of 10 overall.
I'm kidding.
Season 5
I know.
bad for me. Like I did not like season 5 in My Hero at all.
Honestly, I felt like if this season would have been like last season, I think it would have been done.
I think it would have been done too. I would have been like, what am I even reading this for anymore? Like I'm like, if it's gonna be like this, I'm done. No, season 6 is really good. Season 5 was weak. Season 4 was good, but it was unbalanced as hell, right?
Yeah.
Like with the school festival.
Yep.
3, 2, and 1 all feel like much higher quality, and 6 is the only one to get close to that quality. I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's not a 9 out of 10, but it gets close.
Yep.
8.75.
Okay.
So that's why I would drop it.
Yeah.
Blue Lock.
10 out of 10.
9.25.
Nah, just 10.
Yeah, I would love to give it a 10, but I have to be honest with this. The animation is not fantastic.
Okay, 9.8. You said 9.2. Or you say 9.25?
9.25. Now, the animation for this isn't as important as My Hero's animation, I would say, in the same thing. I also think that Blue Lock stands taller in every other regard than My Hero does.
Yes.
So, like the voice acting, the characters, the writing, everything, like My Hero did amazing. No doubt about that. Like, I love the way they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Lock just felt so fresh. It had amazing characters I wanted to know more about. It had beautiful, like, nonstop moments, right? Of like, I have to rewatch this moment over and over again. It had probably one of the most interesting growth arcs for a main character I'd seen in a while for a shonen. Sorry, just the way that he's evolving and learning has been very, very satisfying, especially as he's able to utilize his weapon in the same match. The animation is just the only thing I think that's kind of coming against it, because that 3D animation 9 times out of 10 doesn't look good. 1 time out of 10 you don't really notice it. So that's what you're dealing with, really.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. And sometimes you want a little like his direct shot in episode 11 when he does it for the first time, like knowingly, is one of the most beautiful shots in that entire series or that first season. And you don't really see that level of animation like that in that show again.
Yeah.
There's good moments like when Bachira dodges through everyone. But again, also the animation really isn't, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's doing it without needing it.
I don't think, that's why I'm very excited for, I'm like really curious and excited. I think that the fact that they got insanely popular and then they have obviously a bigger budget because they're doing a movie, which they'll obviously put a lot of money into, and the animation's going to be fucking probably great on that. I swear to God, if I see any of your 3D bullshit on that, I'm serious. Like that would make me fucking mad.
I don't, because that's kind of my.
That would make no sense. That's
my biggest worry about the show is like, what's the animation going to be like in the future?
Honestly, I'll be real. They only gotta like touch it up a notch. You know what you gotta do? Just make the when they're running, when you like go and it's up and people are running, just make that better. Make that hand drawn. Sorry about it. Just do it. Like
that's a big ask, but also like it would be the thing to make it better.
It would. You don't even have to draw them amazingly. That's what's so confusing. It's like even if you drew them, it's better than the 3D block art that you guys are using for them to go like
this.
Yeah. Like
we should be very clear. It's the models of the soccer players look bad. It's nothing else. Nothing else is.
No, nothing's bad.
I don't give a shit about a 3D model of a playing field. That doesn't matter to me. That's not an issue.
I don't give a shit about that.
It's the
or the
3D,
ball. I don't give a fuck about the ball. The ball looks fine.
It's the 3D models of the characters.
It's so bad
in the background.
They're so bad.
It's just they're bad. And so if that is touched up, that's fine. I understand. I get it. It is like an insane time saving and like cost saving to do that over hand drawn. Mm-hmm. It's still frustrating to look at.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that like everyone is bitching, which is fair because I have read some of the beginning. It is a lot. The goals are a lot more explosive and awesome and very quote unquote anime-esque in the manga. So the fact that they're not that's
I have an issue with that.
It's not what you want.
Well, that's just
that's what you're bitching about.
No,
you're not bitching, but
if we're talking about manga to anime,
you're talking about animation. You're like the one crazy cool shot was this epic thing, and it only was animated this amazing way once. They could do that throughout the entire thing because that's literally what a lot of it is.
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm just talking about the fidelity of like the framework in it. I'm not talking about the actual details of the art. I'm saying like the actual framework for Isagi's direct shot is more detailed and like elaborate than any other shot in that show.
Got it.
Like there are other good shots in the show, but a lot of them come down to prepare for shot, instantly kick shot.
Yeah.
Or maybe a couple frames in between. It's not the same thing as like the camera shifting while the body's moving and doing like crazy different animations, like new art styles coming and whatever. Like it's not the same as that. Like that is clearly a more hand picked and hand touched up thing than a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually curious if they're going to add more of that in the next season because they've been getting a lot of complaints about it.
The difference between the anime and the manga is a different subject altogether. I don't mind it. I like that this is a more grounded soccer anime and that the manga can be a little more fantastical. That's fine. I don't know if I want that fantastical in the anime. Yeah. Because I'm really okay with like, hey, they took a much more realistic approach on the anime side. Because the manga, that is not comparable. Like it's still good. It's still great.
I like it more.
But when you kick a ball and there's an explosion, there's like a shockwave or smoke, you are pulled out of that moment completely.
I'm not.
It's not soccer anymore at that point.
Well, to me, that's the whole thing. It's like I could watch a soccer movie or a documentary or a game, and that's what I think was cool about the anime. Like this, so the story of Blue Lock is so good that no matter what, I was sucked in. So I honestly, they could keep the animation and the anime exactly as it is. I'm gonna eat it up, and I'm probably gonna give it 10 out of 10s.
I think us as anime watchers will always feel that way about that kind of stuff.
But I like fantastical because that was my biggest gripe to me with like the haiku or whatever. I'm like, I want like someone hitting it and it's like a fireball. It's like not a real one, but it's like because
you want Demon Slayer.
Because no, but what it is it's the mentality. Like that's
intensity, right?
Well, no. So you know how like so in Tomo-chan when she runs to go meet June and it's like down the street.
There's a feel of smoke behind her.
That is what anime does to me is that's what we have in our head when we're racing somewhere, especially even as like kids, we're like we're going like that's like what it is in our heads. Or even if someone's like going somewhere, we're like, whoa, they're going fast. So that's kind of what it is. It's not real. It's not really happening. She's just running fast. So I like that element in anime because real life shows just don't do it well, and they don't like. There's not really an avenue for it. So I mean, except if you do CGI, and I feel like a lot of times it looks like shit. So anime just does this perfect job. So I like that in sport animes if they can just go a little bit extra, like even like the Spy Family, like it's going above the top, like kind of crazy things. I mean, I'm like, like I like this. Like I would watch an entire tennis series. We were talking about like we could watch maybe a tennis series like that if it's kind of crazy. You know?
I would say though with the way the world interacts with how things work in Tomo-chan and in.
I'm saying anime and Tomo-chan is the only reason, the only way I got.
Blue Lock is clearly going for a more realistic approach than. The ones you mentioned.
Hey, guess what? The anime is, but the manga with the original source material is not. So that's what I'm saying.
The manga is its only. The only difference is the actual effects that come with the kick. But that's the same thing as what Demon Slayer does. Like there's not really fire on this sword. There's not really water on this sword. It's just something that we get to see as representation.
Right.
And maybe that the sword wielder does too. But like to not include it doesn't really. I don't like it. It would pull me out more if it was in there, because I would immediately think of this less as a soccer match and then more of like a fantasy like duel, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like fine. Like, it's not a problem, but if you're a studio and you're trying to make a show big and you have the opportunity to ground it in reality, increasing your possible viewership, you're going to do it that way.
Yeah, I get it.
And like, I'll be honest, like, I think I talked about Prince of Tennis before. I'm not a fan of things getting so stupid and ridiculous where like your tennis swing is all of a sudden a tidal wave. Like, that is so ridiculous and jarring, and like how do you scale that in like a power system in the world when you're trying to, when there's no power system in tennis, right?
No power system. That's the whole point. That's like the fun of it.
Right. And so it's just like, okay, well, this is not, I mean, it's just not serious.
I'm with you. I do think it might take away some seriousness of it. I'm with you. I love the anime. It's a 10 out of 10. So.
Right. And like, I think the auras that we get of our members in the eyes is enough for me.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
Whenever that happens, it's just like rock hard, bro.
I am 10 chapters in the manga, and I will say that the one thing that does frustrate me about the anime is that everyone looks like a geriatric adult in the anime. In the manga,
they all look different.
They all look like kids.
Yes.
Asagi is a twerp.
Yeah.
Like, he's tiny compared to Asagi in the anime. And I wish the manga had maintained, or the anime had maintained, the actual high school look of these kids.
Well, that's what James was saying too on
look at Baro,
like when you meet some of the bigger dudes, like they're like huge. Like the glam guy is like massive.
They're like a little more like drawn out like that, because it's just Aryu is a lot taller in the manga. He's also still not that tall, but he's a lot taller in the manga.
But yeah, that's what we would say. So that's it. I guess that's a wrap for winter. Dog.
That's a job for winter, man. I think Blue Lock is still my absolute favorite. But before we get any further, I still have to show you this panel of Baro.
I mean, you can show it to me, but is that good for everyone else?
No, but I just need you to be on the page with me. This is Baro in the manga. That's Baro.
Okay, weird.
That's weird, right? Like, Baro that's a kid. That's a kid.
Yeah.
That's not an alcoholic 18-year-old drunkard. Yeah. with after shaving his future vision of himself, right? Whatever. But or not after shave, stubble. Sorry. I don't know. Anyways, we can get off this point now. Sorry.
Tight. That was a good way. Thank you for ending that way. We're not even ending the episode.
Winter Wonderland's winner is Blue Lock.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy hands down.
Easy hands down. Easy recommend. I know it carries over from fall last year, but it finished this year. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
And it definitely didn't win fall, to be honest. Like, because
I think there was an argument for it. I just think Chainsaw Man and My Hero and
no, it wasn't My Hero. It was Bleach.
And Bleach. That's true.
Bleach was it. I think both of us.
Everyone was swinging so
Chainsaw.
hard.
Yeah, dude. It was like
I
think
we actually disqualified Blue Lock because it wasn't finished.
It wasn't finished. That's why we disqualified it. But we said it would be for sure and running, which it would be. I mean, they were great. They were all great. Like So
it's our show.
But yeah, it's our show. We do what the fuck we want.
We are now transitioning to what do we call it? Spring
Let's do this.
You got it?
Spring.
What's the name? Did we do Spring Spectacular?
I think so.
Okay.
Spring Spectacular.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that, so I'm
it's
gonna
the French way, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or is it French? Maybe it's not.
Oh, I don't know.
So real quick, guys, we have 3 animes for right now. We might pick up a 4th at some point, but we're just doing 3 for right now.
3 for now.
Joel,
there's one that I really want us to do because I think it's gonna be fucking
My
weird.
Home Hero. What is it?
No, the other one.
Oh, okay.
Did you read the other one?
I read both of them.
The other one sounds wild.
They both sound
as
insane.
Fuck, dude.
But we can do these 3 and then
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
I gotta
see.
watch Trigun still.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I fell off. I don't know. I've heard too many bad things.
Do you want to introduce all 3 of them?
Yeah.
Hell's Paradise.
Hell's Paradise, which we're gonna do right now, and then Mashal, which Luke and I are a huge fan of. We've read it.
We're up to date on it.
We're up to date on it, and it's so fucking
try and
good.
not spoil stuff because this will be the
I mean,
first
we
show.
won't. I will also say.
Well, this will be the
first show.
The second show, third show.
Read all
actually,
Bleach.
No, we did Bleach and we did Attack on Titan.
Yeah, and we've been good on that.
Okay.
For the most part, and again, we can just cut stuff out.
Okay.
It's harder when, to be honest, it's hard when one of us. Like when I had Chainsaw, and I'm like, I'm trying not to say something.
And when I had
My Hero, But yeah. So we're excited for that one. It's gonna be awesome. To me, I can almost guarantee if they do just literally follow the story, it's gonna be a 10 out of 10 for me.
That's it. It is true satire, but it is also the best satire I've ever seen in a manga.
Ever.
Like we thought One Punch Man had some satire in it. It does. It's not comparable to this.
No,
this is like
and
if the animation,
I still love One Punch Man.
If the animation's there, this is like peak anime.
Yes.
Like comedy action, romance. It's all there.
And
it's
I will say,
good.
like, it does, and it gets real in some places too, right? Like One Punch, but it is for sure more a satire.
And the way it like it's inspired by like other anime events, you know, and how it turns it on its head is just really funny and really heartfelt.
For it.
So Mashal and Hell's Paradise, and then we will also obviously be doing
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, because it's the biggest anime in the world. I feel like next to One Piece, and we probably should talk about it.
Very good. Well, and we love it.
And we love it to death. So I'm very excited.
It's been banging since episode 1. Like it really is one of the greatest animes of all time right now.
I cannot wait for shit to pop off in the next arc, dude.
It is gonna be fun. I can't wait for the bath scene that everyone's super already talking about.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, well,
thanks, Mappa.
I can't wait for us to also have our post fight like conversations, because those didn't really happen from season 2. So that's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be great.
Yep.
So
Hell's Paradise.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, I was just gonna say we might have the 4th that might be a wild card, and I'll be real. What we might do that I'll talk to Luke afterwards is we're gonna try it without just the 3, and then we'll do our thing, and then we might try it 1 week with the 4 of the weird one. We'll try to watch that one episode, and if we both like it and we're like, hey, like this is fun, and it works still with the streaming schedule that we're trying to do, because we're just gonna do a season of streaming, right? If you guys hate it, no one wants to do it or whatever, we'll probably still find some free time to do it because we like it. It's been fun.
Yeah, things will go.
But I also don't want us to lose sight of you guys, just so we can do that if you guys don't like it. So we'll see what happens. And so we'll go on to Hell's Paradise.
I'll read it because there's a few typos that I sent, and it's better if I just go through it.
Okay. Well, guess what?
Not have you suffer.
Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise!
Yeah. All right. Hell's Paradise, the death row convict, and the executioner.
Hell's Bells!
Well, we have an unkillable protagonist. Where have we seen that before? Literally can't be executed even though he's on death row. There's not really much going on till the end of this episode, though, anyway, so we're going to skip through a lot of it, as this sort of plays out like an interview against our protagonist shinobi, Gabimaru. The executioner lady, our interviewer, is our only other real character outside of the shogunate, or the leader of this thing, which has no name, right? The executioner lady is our only real other character outside of the flashbacks with Gabi's wife, as she is somewhat conducting the interview. Well, Gabi was betrayed by his village, but he still loves his wife, so he decides to fight for a pardon to see her. Pardon? That's right. In the most unthinkable of twists, the executioner is actually someone giving our main boy a way out, and it's by finding the elixir of life in a faraway island. Here we go! And that's how I feel about this so far.
For people who have read this, forgive him.
Yeah.
For,
no. I know this.
He wrote that.
I know this manga gets really good. I do. But I also know this first episode is really boring.
Yeah, I will say this. I was pretty surprised that I want to say, I guess actually maybe it does kind of take a long time. So this is what they did in the anime that they did not do in the manga. The manga goes through this a little bit quicker. The anime, the fact that they are explaining to you the levels of torture.
Oh yeah, the bowl torture where the body ripped in half. That was a lot of. I was very surprised by that. But yes.
No, they talk about it. They try to do that in the manga. But guess what they don't do?
Show you the visual?
No, they do that. I'm saying we get an entire, the why it's dragged out is we get an entire thing. It's like back in the day, this is what they used to do, and this is what happens with this, and this is what happens with this, and then this, and you're like, and I'm like, okay, so they did not do that in the manga.
Oh, I believe it.
I mean, they'd say what it is. They're like tortured by this, or they try to kill him like this and this way, or whatever. So I just felt like that was a little weird. Also, it made me go, fuck, I am so glad I'm alive right now. And the fact that that happened to some people, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So like the first 80% of this episode is just a lot of these execution methods in different ways, and kind of learning more about his wife that he hates but then actually loves. But also I don't know, because he still doesn't really confirm that he loves her ever. He doesn't really say, I love my wife to death.
Yeah, he does. He says at the end.
Does he?
I love, yeah.
Oh. Okay, he does say it in the very, very end. I lied. My bad. That's not really a big point.
And if he doesn't,
but,
spoiler alert, he for sure said it in the manga at this part.
But it's
so,
not. It's
I don't know. Like,
it's not really interesting or worth watching until the last 80%, because otherwise you're just like, okay, this is another monotone white-haired individual like Nagi, like Gojo Satoru, like literally.
Yeah, it is a bummer that they gave him white hair. I guess they did in the colored pictures, but
like Denmaki, like the guy from Kisniver, the white-haired monotone individual is getting so annoying.
Yeah,
and
trope,
thankfully at the end of this episode he yells and it's not monotone. I was like, oh, right on, cool, we're good.
Yeah.
It's fine. But for a bit you're like, what the frick, man?
Well, it's because he wants to die.
At the end of it, he has that fight with her.
Yeah,
which I was like, oh, cool. Is this actually our main character, or is she gonna kill him? And then it plays out with the most anime of animes, anime tropes ever. Actually, I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to offer you a way out. Here it is, buddy.
Yeah.
It's actually an expedition to a faraway land of magical properties when we have no idea what's going on, and you're gonna go figure it out for us.
Name two other animes like that.
I mean, that's literally the whole point. That's literally what the Oracle, not Oracle, the one with the dumbass monster designs. And the guy with the fire sword and the two dudes on the motorcycle.
Oh, fuck.
That's that whole thing there. Like,
yeah.
That's not an uncommon trope of like, hey, that's Jujutsu Kaisen, dude. Like, that's Naruto. That's like a lot of these things of like, hey, these are people that are going to be killed or are shunned and they're about to die and they're given a way out. Not Naruto so much. But
I was like, Naruto.
But JJK. Sorry, JJK is that one.
JJK is that one.
And Nezuko is kind of also that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like, it's not a unique trope. The episode's not a great first start, in my opinion, but I also know it gets way better. So
I will say this.
Yeah.
This would be one of the most brutal animes
you've
ever seen.
I've read the first 30 chapters of this.
Okay, cool. So you and I are on the same page because that's around where I'm at.
I'm not privy to this show. Like I do know some stuff about
it. Okay. I didn't know you were reading.
This is a. I just want to be very clear. I think this first episode fumbled the ball.
It was I do think what they should have done is
spend more time.
I'll be real with you. I mean, like, we're not going to do insane spoilers, but because this is literally the first episode and this person on death row is going to go get the elixir of life, there's other people that go. They literally say that at the very end of the thing. So what I thought they should have done is do half this episode should have been cut in half, and there should have been that part, and then they do the little tower card after their fight, and then or whatever's eye catch, and then they do the introductions of the rest of the assassins that we meet, and then they're gonna be sent off to the island, and that's where the first episode ends. I have no fucking idea why they took so long.
Yeah.
On this one.
So what I think,
because that's what happens. I mean, that's it. It's the first two like. It's chapters. Not. It's super fast in the manga.
Well, it's a really quick manga. But first off, like if they either do what you said, because what they said what you just said is what I want them to do.
Yeah.
If they weren't going to do that, they should have started this with a long shot of a boat sailing into town and them finding the flowers and the bodies.
Yeah, that would have been a cool.
And
opener,
then we do a title card and then transition to Gabimaru in the prison cell. That's all it would have taken. Unfortunately,
that's it, guys.
That literally would have been it. Like if it had done that, I probably would have given this episode like a 9 or 10 out of 10.
Damn, bro, that's such a fucking niche weird thing.
It needed some balancing. It needed some good pacing help. Instead, it is just this awful, long drawn out episode about how to torture people. And
you're right.
People.
It would have for sure pacing wise and went much better.
Yeah,
than that.
I mean, it wouldn't have been like a 10 out of 10, I guess, or a 9 out of 9, but it would have been a much better thing if they had anchored the beginning of the episode with the actual plot.
Yeah,
not with I can't die.
Yeah,
it's like okay, well, I mean, we know you can't die. Like obviously, if the sword broke in the back of your freaking neck, you can't die right now. Like you're whatever. So
I have to pull it up. So keep talking about it.
What is it?
No, are we gonna read comments for this motherfucker?
Oh, we should do comments for this guy. We should do comments for this guy. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say for this.
I'm
looking forward to it. I'm not very happy about this episode, but I know it's gonna get better.
Well, the best part about it is. I'll be real. This would be a huge bummer. Us having a really short part about this. If it was like next week when it's like here's our 3 mains and then it's like one like blip.
Also,
but a lot didn't happen.
Yeah. Also, it is incredibly annoying as a viewer. I know the manga is the same way. As a viewer of this anime, it's incredibly annoying to be told I'm not going to show you my ninjutsu and then say, hey, you want to see my ninjutsu, right? And then not show it to us. That is incredibly annoying.
Yeah, it is. Also, I love how I type in Hell's Paradise doesn't come up. I get rid of the S. Hell's Paradise comes up.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
The fuck?
It's apostrophe.
Oh. Yeah. That's fair.
It's Hell's
You're right.
Paradise.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, we got an early post already. Awesome. Where are my manga readers at?
Yeah, I don't care about that. I went through these a little bit. They're not great, but they will get. I'm sure they'll get better.
All right, Mappa, don't fumble on this one.
Yep. And I will say this first episode was not proof of animation. I think it will eventually because I know some fights specifically coming up are awesome.
Yeah, so this is actually interesting. Zoro Joru says 656 says I am definitely all in for Hell's Paradise if it is being included in the Dark Trio with JJK and Chainsaw Man. Surprisingly, all three are animated by Mappa. That's not really that surprising. I can also see this as a new anime to watch every Saturday. Okay, who the fuck cares about that? Like, that's kind of all we'll do. But the Dark Trio, I'm actually kind of surprised. I guess this is the Dark Trio, but Hell's Paradise I learned after.
Oh, it's way darker than the other.
After Dawn to Dawn.
Yeah, dude. Also, Hell's Paradise is way more morbid and dark than those other two. Like I think
easy.
JJK can be dark for sure. Like absolutely.
Well, this show is fucking nuts.
Hell's Paradise is like Ninja Scroll in some points, dude. Like
yeah,
Ninja
it's awesome.
Yeah,
I cannot wait. It's gonna be so good.
It's great. It's also really funny at some points.
Oh yeah, it's good.
I would give this episode a 5 out of 10.
I would too.
Yep. I wouldn't. It's a bad first foot. It's gonna get better. Yep. It's a bad first foot or bad first foot forward or bad. What's the bad first step forward? What is it? What's the phrase actually? What is it saying?
Bad first impression?
Bad first impression. There we go. That's way better. Bad first impression. 5 out of 5. All right. We love you so much. Thanks for hanging out. I know it was quick on the last bit there, but I wish there was more to talk about.
Yeah, we wish there was more to talk about.
Shitty comments.
They just tried to kill him a bunch of times. We learned about a lot of torture that seems horrible for people.
Yeah.
And then we learned that he had a wife that he's kind of forced to take, and he ends up really liking her.
Her dad's an ass.
She's still alive, and like the whole kind of idea is that he's gonna do this so that way he can take her from that family. So it's a love story almost, kind of weirdly.
Yeah, it's somewhere between a love story and a shonen, but it's definitely less romance for sure. So, all right, we love you so much, guys. Please follow, like us, subscribe on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere you can think of.
Everywhere.
Come hang out with us.
Come hang out.
Also, thank you so much for your continued support.
Yeah.
And come join us on stream.
Yeah. Come hang out tonight, 8:30 or 8. Just chill in the room.
8:10, right?
Yeah. But this will be for next week. The next one, goofball. That's right. So yeah, love you guys. See you there.
Talk to you soon. Bye.